Hello, happy Sunday and happy new moon in Leo. We are coming in here for our collective week ahead card pull. And yes, we've got 3 decks out here because energetically we are tapping into some very powerful energies under a Leo sun, a Leo moon, and we are building up to the Lion's Gate portal coming up on 8/8/8, which also happens to be my birthday. So we are collectively gathering here to really tap into these energies from the highest, most expansive timeline available to us at this time, to really see what we can anticipate energetically this week and meld that in with our own intuition, free will, and stepping into and through this gateway with insight, guidance, and wisdom as to how we may best proceed. So in order to do that, I'm going to be introducing to you the beautiful tarot deck that we are using this month for the Empowerment Pack. It's the Spacious Tarot by Carrie Mallon and Annie Reicht. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry, but it's a beautiful deck. I just have been diving into it this past week as we kicked off a new month for the Empowerment Pack, and we're doing the month ahead readings and now new moon readings. So it's been a very busy several days. Personally for me, I mentioned last week with our 4 of Wands that we were having all kinds of celebrations and gatherings here for my oldest daughter's graduation party. It was warm and wonderful. It was a lot of work, a lot of preparation that went into it, but we had a wonderful time, and I'm really grateful that we were able to welcome everyone here to celebrate her and to send her off with best foot forward as she will be embarking on this new leg of her journey in the coming weeks. So yeah, this mama lion over here is in all my feels about that, but mostly excited for her. And in tapping into that energy, it was a very full weekend. But I did record our new moon reading this morning, and it is now available. So if anyone who is not already with me for the Empowerment Pack would like to join, I did share in the Sharecast the link to the new moon empowerment reading. It's $22 if you want to come along. We recorded, I think it was 49 minutes, 29 seconds, a part 1. I did a 5-card spread. We tapped into the energetic weather around this new moon, as well as a ritual that's available for you to check out. And then part 2 is your personal card pulls for the new moon. And the new moon, of course, here and now, is a time for you to be setting some intentions and planting seeds, but perhaps more so than ever in the year, when we have a new moon in Leo happening the week of the 8/8 Lion's Gate portal, which I will be diving into with a bonus set of messages I'm putting together for the Empowerment Pack this month as well. So anyway, that is all available. If you're interested in coming along, please reach out, check out the link. But for now, we are going to pull a new Queen of the Moon Oracle card. I know what card came forward for the Empowerment Pack reading. I'm curious to see what comes up here with all of our collective energy. Then we're going to do our week ahead spread with the 5 cards from the Spacious Tarot, and we're going to finish that off with the Time Traveler's Oracle. Really enjoying this deck this month because of all of this divine time passages and portal energy and the infinity energy of the 8/8/8. And again, it is 8/8/8 because it's occurring on the 8th day of the 8th month in an 8 year. So it's especially potent at this time for harnessing this power of manifestation, magnetization, and so much more. So without further ado, here on Sunday, we are tapping in under this new moon in Leo. Let's see what's coming up from the Queen of the Moon for an overarching energy message and guidance for us into this new moon that we are under right now. Is a wonderful time again for you to be setting some intentions and really thinking about those seeds that you're wishing to plant in your life, what you want to bring into manifestation, your heart's desires. And this really is about connecting in with the heart, inner child, playfulness, and so much more. So let's see what's coming forward. Oh, the void just winked at us. We got a little wink there from the void. Let's see what comes up. One card, please. And oh yeah, we've got the kinetic sand table going here, also drawing something special for us through the sand. And it's very symbolic of moving these passageways and pathways and going back over things, which I think is really speaking to the Mercury retrograde that's coming in here as well. Ooh, this is the card that came up for the full moon in Capricorn. And at the time I said, I don't see this card that often. It is surrender. Of course it did, because it's an 8 energy, card 26. So it's bringing forward that vibration of the number 8 and the message of surrender. Now, I made a shameless movie reference. This was in the full moon in Capricorn reading last month, so 2 weeks ago. But I mentioned that this energy was giving me Harry and the Hendersons. So bonus points if you know about that movie. It's a shameless reference to the 80s, but meaning like a Bigfoot Sasquatch energy. But nonetheless, I digress. Beautiful card. And actually now as I look at it, I'm even seeing like an eagle energy here. Like these are just things that are showing up through the screen for me, but not necessarily when you're looking at it directly. But the energy of surrender. So we'll tap into that first before we dive into our spread. I'm going to pull all the cards now and I'll come back in like I usually do on the Sharecast. But I just wanted to see what would come up for us. So that's interesting. Maybe everybody needed to hear this message because this is something that I primarily shared, you know, in the Empowerment full moon reading. So that message continues. And of course, 8. Infinite, it continues on to ripple out this vibration of surrender. So we'll tap into that. Let's get into our Spacious Tarot now. I'm excited for you guys to see. It's a beautiful deck. I chose it with the spacious energy in it because of feeling this infinite divine time passages and, you know, just feeling that it was giving us this potential for expansion through the spacious energy. So far I've really enjoyed the messages that have been coming up. Still working through some of those month ahead readings just with how busy it has been. And I know so many of you are busy as well. Everything in divine time, which is of course all a part of these channeled words that came in for me for this month. So let's see what's coming in for Monday. Just to set the tone here for our week. And Monday is when Mercury officially stations retrograde. Of course, we have been in the pre-shadow. So a lot of you have been sharing with me your frustrations with electronics, things going haywire, communication challenges. I'll talk a little bit about that in the astrological weather. Of course, it is also influencing this new moon. So it's all connected. Let's see what's coming forward here for this Monday card. 5 of Swords. Yeah, 5 of Swords. This card actually from a different deck came forward in our new moon reading today as well. So interesting that that's coming up here again. There was a very clear message that came through with that card. So we'll tap in and see what it's bringing in for us this week. Tuesday represents a potential blocker challenge. So let's see, potential blocker challenge. 5 of Wands. Wow. 5 of Swords and 5 of Wands. 5, the number of chaos, confusion. There's a lot of challenge in the change that 5s bring, but they also bring freedom and expansion and expression. 5th chakra, your throat chakra. A little bit of that rebellion energy as well. So we see these are some potent energies right here. Surrender. Yeah, we're really going to feel into all of this. Wow. Okay. 5-5. Wednesday, midweek blessing. Let's see what's coming in for us for Wednesday for the midweek blessing. The Death card. You see, there's no escaping the transformation and change that are here, happening, unfolding in real time. This stripping away, shedding the skins of the soul, anything that's false no longer being able to stand, picked clean to the bone but there's a lot of new beginning and promise here. Now, like for me, this is ending this last solar return for me. It's the Wednesday before my birthday. So the next day is I'm starting a new trip around the sun. So that's symbolic for me in that way, and for every one of us, because it is also this year's 8/8 Lion's Gate portal, where this energy, which by the way has been the portal is open from July 26th through the 13th of August. But the 8/8 date is the peak of this energy, and when we really tune in to harness that and all of the things that come with that. And like I said, if you wish to come along for the Empowerment Pack this month, I am including a bonus message, card pulls, and more deep information around working with this. But this feels really potent that it's happening on the eve before the 8/8 Lion's Gate. So let's see what is coming up for Thursday in terms of how we are growing, how we are expanding into this new. Let's see. Thursday, 8/8, my birthday, as well as Dustin Hoffman. I said this on the thing. I'm like, oh, I make it sound like I'm such a birthday diva. I'm really not. I'm pretty sure everyone in my house has no idea that my birthday's on Thursday. I'm just saying it to you guys because it's fun. Let's see what is coming up Thursday. 7 of Swords. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So we've got some this is definitely bringing in this need for, we have, 5 of Swords and 7 of Swords amidst a 5 of Wands and the Death card. So we're growing through this process though. So we're going to see what that has to say for us. And then finally Friday, Four of Swords. This card came up in the full moon or the new moon reading and the full moon reading. So in other words, this card came up last lunation, the full moon in Capricorn number 2. It just came up this morning for the Leo new moon. And here it is again, 4 of Swords. This is perfect for retrogrades, though. We have a number of planets in retrograde, as well as the asteroid Chiron at this time. So there is a lot of the resting, renewing, resetting, reviewing, all of that going back over, which is what the this 4 of Swords is all about, plus the number 4. So yeah, feeling some things there that we'll get into. And finally, I'm going to pull a card for us from the Time Traveler's Oracle. And interestingly, of the readings that I've done so far, each person is getting their own personal card pull from this deck for their month ahead reading. And the first 2 were both different points in time, as this deck is amazing. It goes back through all different over millennia of periods of time with a message from the Oracle. And the first 2 were back to back, August 1968, August 1969. And I thought that was really interesting here in August. And also it was such a pivotal time of revolution and change and societal and different changes within, especially, in the social constructs, because the card for 1968 was actually for Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, which of course was the civil rights movement. And then the second card was August of 1969 for Woodstock, the Summer of Love and the Sexual Revolution. So it's very interesting, these energies that have been coming up. So I'm intrigued to see what we may get here for us collectively with this time traveler's message coming in at this potent time in the Lion's Gate. Okay, let's see where we're going in the time machine. Ooh, 24, light the angelic realm. Wow, I have not seen this picture, but it's gorgeous, and it feels like just the beacon we need, because these cards are all rather bleak and drab in a lot of ways, definitely depicting the season of winter. So there's more of a barren sort of, snowy and, down to the bone kind of energy here. This is a beautiful beacon of light, and I love that it's coming in on the other side of the Lion's Gate. So we will definitely see what that has to say as we move through these cards that we'll now be getting into on the Sharecast. So tune in and feel free to view in your time as you wish. And if you would like a personal card pull this week, you can let me know. I am doing them as I'm able to. This week, of course, because of all of the extra things that are going on and prioritizing the deeper session work, which of course you are always welcome to join me for. I will do personal card pulls for the week ahead once I am all caught up there. So I will just put that out there. But if you're interested in a card pull, please let me know. Let's go ahead now and get into these week ahead messages. Oh my goodness, we can't make it up. It is 8:08 p.m. as I press record for our energetic weather this week, where of course the star of the show is in fact the 8/8 Lion's Gate happening on Thursday, August 8th. But we're going to start right where we are now with the Leo new moon that peaked this morning today where I am on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. But we're going to just take a look and see these energies that we're under now, just to tap in here around this Leo new moon, as well as some of the other astrological weather that's moving through this week, which overall is rather quiet despite a couple of these little headliners. So August 4th, we have this Leo new moon, which is quite lovely, actually, especially in the context of all of the other energies that we're navigating this month. So with this Leo new moon, we're beginning a new lunar cycle, which offers us the opportunity to plant some new seeds, welcome new beginnings. New moons draw energy towards us, so it makes it a powerful time to really think about what we wish to keep close to us, as opposed to a full moon where we're releasing, expanding, letting go. So, yes, there is this soft and gentle energy under this new moon that's inviting us to be more playful, more creative. This is all stuff that we get into in detail in the empowerment reading for the new moon. So again, if you would like to go deeper, if you would like a personal card pull around these energies, check out the new moon empowerment reading that's available. Now, we may also feel amidst this energies, though, some energy that may have us feeling withdrawn or needing to recharge our spiritual batteries. And that's what I'm feeling with a lot. We'll get into these fives and some of this more challenging energy that we have on the altar this week. Collectively, myself and many others that I have heard from or been in communication with, talking about this sort of going within to your own inner light and not so much outwardly shining as it is inner from the inside. So definitely feeling that here under this new moon today. And again, for the next couple of days, we have this energy to play in. Also, at the same time here today, August 4th, Venus in Virgo. So Venus, the planet of love and relationships, has moved into Virgo. And Venus in Virgo can be critical, but it can also be incredibly feminine and romantic as well. So this could be a positive time to focus on your health, your well-being, perhaps start a new wellness routine, or find ways to bring some more balance and harmony into your life. So connecting in that very loving and receptive way. Now, as I mentioned, tomorrow, August 5th, Mercury stations retrograde in Virgo, and we'll spend most of this month in that state. So Mercury retrograde, as we are very familiar, is always a time where we have an opportunity to dive deeper into our subconscious and weed out messages or thought processes that we've been blocking or have not yet been able to confront. So yeah, this is about communication and very much so in the mind. So this is again telling us to go within to our own thought processes, into our own subconscious, and weed out, declutter and clear things that may have been blocking us or that we have just not yet been able to confront. Because this Mercury retrograde begins in Virgo, which is its ruling sign, it can feel quite intense. We may find ourselves, once again with the Rees, going over things again and again, or being super critical or harsh towards ourselves and others. Our feelings of shame may rise, or we could be searching for the quote unquote perfect answer. This is where the sneaky peas come in. And with Virgo energy, the sneaky peas of perfectionism, procrastination, feelings of like, it has to be perfect or nothing, and really criticizing ourselves and judging ourselves. So that frequency could be coming in here for some as well. But yeah, in this case, the perfect answer could just be an illusion. It's all in the mind. So again, dropping into the heart is the name of the game, right? So these energies might be pulling us up into the mind and really kind of getting lost in all that analysis paralysis, but we have an opportunity to act with our heart. And this is something with this Leo energy that we're really getting a hearty dosage of this week. Would be a wonderful time to really connect in there. Most especially August 8th, the Lion's Gate portal. So this infamous Lion's Gate portal is here, and it's celebrating the rising of Sirius after weeks of invisibility due to the rays of the sun. So Sirius is known as our spiritual sun. It symbolizes a rebirth of our spiritual body and a stronger and more powerful connection with our soul. So it's so perfect that we got the death card in the middle of this week as a midweek blessing. And then on the other side is the rebirth with Sirius coming in here. So while Sirius will be visible in the sky over these coming days, August 8th is the day that we celebrate this portal due to this 8-8 numerology. So like I said, this is especially potent this year, also being in an 8 year, and it's something that we will dive more deeply into in that special session I'll be doing as a part of the August Empowerment Pack, if you're interested in checking that out. All right, let's go ahead and start things off here with our cards. The Queen of the Moon Oracle message coming right up. All right, we're kicking it off here with our Queen of the Moon Oracle card for here and now under the new moon in Leo. We can't make it up. This is the same card we pulled collectively for the full moon in Capricorn number 2 weeks ago. That I dove into deeply in that empowerment reading. I was just listening back to it just now because I wanted to hear, how it had come through for the full moon as it compares to how I'm tuning into it now under this new moon. And of course I made, as I mentioned in the card pull, my Harry and the Hendersons movie reference, like I said. It's just, random, but it was to speak to the outline of the figure there, reminding me of sort of a Sasquatch, Bigfoot type outline. And the theme there for me being about things that have our back, that are behind us, that we may not even realize, that if we're afraid to surrender, to let go, to release something, there's sort of a trust fall energy here, but it's about things that we're not able to see. And so what I was thinking of, and stay with me because I feel like it's like only makes sense in my crazy mind. My son, he is fascinated by things like Bigfoot and dragons and all kinds of those amazing, especially when kids are, into this world of the imagination and mythology and so much more of what might be possible. And one of the things that he and I had talked about before was this notion of different dimensions and the idea that some of these, what we think of as mythical creatures or things such as like fairy energy, or in this case, like the Bigfoot energy, being that these beings exist on a different frequency than we do. And so they are around us. However, they're at a higher dimension. And so what this is saying to me in a roundabout way is about We can't see everything right now, as we know, the full picture. And so the things that we are surrendering, that can sometimes be viewed as, and this is going to tie into especially our Monday card coming right up, as if we're giving up or we failed or in some way we're abandoning something by surrendering. Not at all, right? So we're raising the vibration on the perspective that we take when it comes to the art of surrendering, I'm hearing. So the mantra with this card is, I let go, I surrender my struggle, I allow the universe to work through me. And so it talks about how surrendering doesn't mean giving up, that to let go of what you no longer need. Stop being so stubborn about holding on to aspects and behaviors that don't align with who you are now. Stop struggling. And so Stacey DeMarco goes on to explain how for her, it took her a long time to realize that surrendering was a positive thing. And that she didn't mean the type of giving up type of surrender, right? Meaning that it's okay. It's time for me to hand this over type of surrender. So for those of us who are highly independent, and we've got these 5s on the altar this week, so it tells me, yes, many of us are very independent. We've handled things on our own. We're not maybe used to asking for help or not great at accepting help. Used to doing things on our own, that admitting that we need assistance or that we might indeed have to let something go for our betterment can be challenging. Letting go and surrendering admits or exposes a vulnerability or two. Yeah, so to surrender, we may need to show our underbelly. We may need to admit we got it wrong, made a mistake, grew a bad habit. Surrounded ourselves maybe with people, places, things that are not good for us. And that can make us feel raw in our realization. So yeah, knowing that the new moon is a phase that is dark, where we don't have a lot of illumination, just that little sliver of the new moon, we have this opportunity in the protective shadow to allow ourselves to be as wide open as we need, to do our work, and reveal safely only to the divine and ourselves. And then the light returns. Well, I think that's really powerful because once again, that figure, however you interpret it, not my meandering story about Harry and the Hendersons and mythological creatures, but it's all around us, that we are safe, we are supported, and that what we need will make itself known when the time comes. The 8 energy of this card is really encouraging us to remember, as you cross over that gateway, go through that portal, whatever it is that you're carrying with you is what you are telling the universe you wish to amplify, to magnetize, to manifest. So be really clear on what it is that you're carrying. Be really clear on what it is that you have yet to let go. And it may not be something that needs to be let go of. What I'm saying is take stock on what it is that you're holding on to, investing time, energy, attention into, and really, really be clear on whether or not it's something that has a place with where you wish to go to next, what you're looking to manifest in your life. And it may call for some surrender, for some letting go. So that's what we're getting here. The card that came up with the new moon this morning was the beauty card. So I really get into that in the new moon reading, but it did bring forward a very nice message about tapping into our own inner beauty, but also, finding the beauty in all things, so that even when something is particularly challenging, now I'm getting Beauty and the Beast with this figure behind them, that there is always beauty to behold, and that when we make it a process for us to seek out the beauty in all things, it can help us to reframe and look again at those things that at first we may have turned away from, or were really struggling with the energy of it being a challenge or something that's a struggle or something that perhaps is non-preferred, that's occurring, and yet there is beauty and lessons within it for us to extract. So just kind of laying that there for you to tap into here in this new moon in whatever way works for you. And once again, if you would like to join me for the new moon reading, let me know and I will get that right to you. All right, without further ado, let's get into our week ahead tarot messages. All right, we are coming in here for our collective week ahead messages. These are the cards that I just pulled over on the Empowerment Sharecast, my free space on the Marco Polo app that's tucked away from the noise of social media, where we connect every week and tap into the collective energies using tarot, oracle cards, and other spiritual musings. I offer complimentary personal card pulls over there. So if you're seeing this on one of my social media spaces, I'm Marissa from Growing the Flow, and I'm so glad you're here. We are going to tap in now to bring in some messages. But if you would like to check it all out, I'll just be posting these daily. So you'll just be viewing one message for the day of the week that it represents. But if you want to see the whole full Monty, it's over on my Empowerment Sharecast. So I'd love for you to join me over there. Also have some other special offers and things that we do over there tucked away from all of this. But for now, here we go. Let's tune in to Monday's card. And by the way, we're using this gorgeous Spacious Tarot this month, all throughout August. So you can tune in on the Sharecast to get a real nice look at this deck. Loving these cards and all that I've been coming across so far in my August Empowerment Pack personal sessions. So the first card, and we've got some interesting synchronicities here with the cards as they've come out. This is Monday's card, which represents sort of setting the tone, kicking off the week. Now, of course, time is not linear, right? Divine time passages. These are just placeholders for the 5 days of the week, but these are energies that can be interacting all throughout. And of course, as a collective reading, you may find some messages to resonate more than others. No problem. You can take what resonates, leave the rest. There's always someone there to pick it up. But I love to hear from you as to how these things may be showing up for you this week. So, 5 of Swords kicking us off. This is our victory at what cost card. You know, this card that asks us, is the juice worth the squeeze? You know, some kind of fight, some kind of conflict that's going on where someone may be trying very hard to emerge as the victor by less integritous means. And so there's a sense of, just wanting to be right for the sake of being right, and actually coming to a place where we sort of draw that line in the snow as we see it here. And I mentioned during the card pull, this same card came up today when we did the new moon card pulls. So, for the Empowerment Pack, we got this version, Win or Lose. And it came up quite a bit throughout our reading and the spread that we did, talking about sort of drawing that line in the sand and striking, that place where we decide that whatever it is that we are making a choice about, whatever it is that we're choosing right now, what we're creating, when we enter into that choice, creation, move, whatever it is we're doing, from a frequency of this thing brings me joy and I wish to feel more joyful, more fulfilled, have more play in my life, or whatever it is that's presenting itself, that's the frequency that will continue to be magnetized in. So if we choose win or lose, there was this sense of, more of the same to come when we come at it in that way. Now here I'm getting a beautiful nod to, something that we are done with. There is a little bit of, and especially because we have that death card here for our midweek blessing this week that we'll get to, that there is this sense of, really walking away from something. But we're going to tap in here to the Spacious Tarot's take on this card to be inspired. And it says, criticism and betrayal. So the 5 of Swords here asks, what battles are you fighting? And if they are worth your energy. Yes, is the energy I'm putting into this worth the squeeze, right? The juice, the squeeze. So that's exactly what it's saying. And the vulture that we see here perched on the soul sword that's left standing. But at what cost? Is it really that important to win, to prove a point? Someone may be overly aggressive. Maybe that someone is you, right? There's a real opportunity here for reflection. That has been a key theme as well. What's being mirrored back to us through our relationships, our interactions, what we see in the outer world, on the world stage, in our communities, within our own small circles, and in the mirror, right? So there's this sense of really reflecting on that. Identify and question these harmful approaches. So now this is a card that, and I talked about this in the energetic weather, especially here with Venus and Virgo happening today as I record this on August 4th. This card often points to your own inner critic. Have you been picking yourself apart with negative thoughts? Are you focusing too intently on your self-perceived flaws? Do not betray yourself. Know the difference between constructive and destructive criticism. So yeah, there's definitely been this theme coming in about judgment and criticism. You may remember that last week we got the judgment card to kick off the week. And so yeah, as an awakening, as a shift, as a raising of the vibration from the lower aspects of judgment, criticism, shame, right? Stirring around that same old tired way of thinking, belief systems, storylines that we have been working throughout, especially just in this year that we've been tapping into these energies to transmute, right? To release, to shed. And, if not now, full moon in Aquarius is coming on August 19th. And there are a number of other aspects, big old energetic storm coming on in. And I'm not saying that from a place of fear. I'm saying that from a place of empowerment, of awareness and readiness to say, hey, cut it out, right? All this old stuff. And we talked about this last week about stirring the poop. And guess what? It's back. It's coming up here for Tuesday's potential block or challenge. The 5 of Wands is back. So, this stuff is coming up. There's 78 cards in the tarot, and every week, consistently, we're getting 1 or 2 or more repeat cards coming up. Lunation after lunation, week after week. So what is this telling us, right? So that's kind of what's setting the tone here. Victory at what cost? And what is winning to you? And what does that mean for you? And, where do you draw your line in the snow? That's kind of what we're looking at here as we transition into this first full week of August, which is a biggie because as I talked about in the energetic weather report, we are bringing in the 888 Lionsgate portal this week as well. So let's go ahead and get into Tuesday's card. Once again, stirring it around. Let's check it out. All right, Tuesday is bringing back a familiar energy, the 5 of Wands, which you may recall did come up last week in the position of Thursday, which is how we are growing. This week it shows up for Tuesday as to a potential blocker challenge. And as I'm recording this, my son and my husband are playing a video game in the next room over, and it sounds like there's quite the heated competition going on. So perfect, because we're talking about competitive, argumentative energies in the 5 of Wands, which is of course about arguments, battles, stirring of the poop, as I call it, because it is a lower vibrational energy that is not productive, right? It's in the muck. And so, how might it be coming up this week as a potential blocker challenge? Now, as we come into Tuesday, we're talking Mercury has officially stationed retrograde. So we're looking at some of these energies of communication challenges, mental issues as well, like I said, in terms of that inner critic and that inner voice stirring things around, going over things, competitive energies that, again, a lot of this feels very individual. So it may or may not be with other people, but certainly, it can be in terms of those types of challenges. Now, as we look at the Five of Wands from the Spacious Tarot, we're going to see what the take is there to bring in some fresh perspectives, because again, our last week in the July Empowerment Sharecast is where we talked about this card just last week. So if you remember seeing that over there or posted on my social media, we're building on that message that came forward for us as to how we're growing. Now it's coming up as a blocker challenge. So hassle and conflict. The Five of Wands asks how you handle life's inevitable hassles. It may seem like all sorts of petty things are conspiring to irritate you. Perhaps your plans are faltering, stumbling blocks are popping up, annoyances are arising. Sometimes things just don't seem to go your way. How do you handle this vibe? Are you fuming over something that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things? Are you unproductively raging against reality? Even if you can't control your external circumstances, you do have say over your internal reactions. Yeah, this is so Mercury retrograde right now, because it's like technical issues and problems with computers and technology and things not going right and travel delays and cancellations and all those kind of things are so frustrating, irritating, but are we raging against reality? I love that. Yes, some of these things they will happen. Things can and will happen as we do this 3D thing, so we are down here in the muck, right? We are stirring it around, co-creating, right? And you see that represented here, because there's difference coming in here with different frequencies of co-creation that's collaborating here to create something that's a bit entangled, because there is that 5 energy. So like I said, we just came through 2 5s back to back this week. 5 in numerology is bringing that bit of chaotic, confusing, sometimes like tumultuous energy. Like I said, though, in the card pull, it can lead to great expansion and freedom and expression as well. The 5th chakra, the throat chakra, and this sense of being the rebel. So I like, again, this idea of setting our sword down. Like, as for you all over there stirring it around, same old, judgment, criticism, shame, blame, all the finger pointing, stirring it all around. For me, I'm making a different choice. That has passed, right? And it's perfect, because these 3 cards right here, this is the death card coming up for Wednesday. We're looking at a vulture representing all of that transformation. The message of the totem of the vulture is about, there's a couple of things coming to mind, because I know that, they are known for, let's say, they have excrement on their self, on their feet. I don't know. Look it up if you want to know more about that side of things. But as I say, stirring the poop, but they serve such a purpose, and the vultures get a bad rap because they may not be the prettiest thing to look at, as the beauty message had come in here for us around the new moon in Leo, as Venus in Virgo may have us being a little more critical, and we were looking in the mirror and talking about, the ways in which we might speak to ourselves and all those things. We have the totem of the vulture coming in here saying, the looks can be deceiving. The vulture serves a critical purpose in the circle of life and in our food chain, in terms of clearing away the decaying and what is dead and what is gone, what has transitioned. And it's on the other side here. So there's a really powerful energy about the double 5s, and then the death card bringing in this new beginning, this rebirth energy, which goes on throughout the rest of the week as we build up to that 8/8 Lion's Gate. So again, yes, on the 3D level, on the day-to-day, what's happening this week, can there be definitely some conflict, some arguments, some communication challenges, and fists coming to fists or blows, and I don't mean like necessarily physical. Again, collectively, for sure, we can see things playing out on the big stage, in the collective, and things in there in terms of battling and fighting and that type of thing, whether it's energetic or, physically, but, just kind of tuning into your own world, right, in your own stages, and seeing how this could show up any number of ways always coming back into center and holding your ground, that you can choose whether or not you're going to react to it, right? The stuff out there is going to happen, but you get to choose how you participate. If you participate, what does that look like for you? So you can think about that as you're kind of planting those new seeds of intentions for, again, what do you want to be holding when you cross over that 8-8 Lion's Gateway into that portal, into the new, into amplifying and magnetizing in what it is that you wish to manifest in your life. What are you taking with you? So let's go ahead now and look at that death card for our midweek blessing. All right, Wednesday is bringing in our midweek blessing, and it is the only major arcana card on the altar this week. It is the death card, and it's so appropriate for these energies as we've been building up here with the double 5 energy. We also had, remember, the Queen of the Moon message of surrender here for that new moon in Leo, which also this card carrying an 8 vibration. So of course, this being the day before that 888 Lion's Gateway, peaking on Thursday, August 8th, this is bringing in this shedding and releasing of the old and embracing the new beginnings, and, picked clean to the bone. So we're getting down to really, stripping away everything that is false, everything that has been keeping us from really stepping into our most authentic power. And that was part of the theme that I brought in for the new moon in Leo in my empowerment pack sessions, was about, really embracing your creative power. And so the death card comes in with this message of transformation and change, which is assured. It's not an if, it's a matter of when, and the time is really now. So let's see what the Spacious Tarot has to add on the death card here. It's talking about endings, elimination, and transformation. Death teaches you that endings are unbiased and necessary. Life cannot exist without decay. The hands here cannot reach for the flower of renewal without first shedding their old skin. Exactly. Yes, this is what I was saying. Shedding the skins of the soul in order to reach the new. What will you be holding in your hands when you cross through that gateway, telling the universe, this is what I wish to manifest more of in my life, right? So endings may not always be pleasant as they occur, but they are necessary to create space for something new. So allow here that new to come in through embracing that which may make us feel fearful because we don't know what's on the other side, or whatever we're leaving behind is very comfortable, very familiar. At least it's the devil I know versus the one I don't, all that type of stuff. But this card does bring in this metaphoric message of death, something that is withering away, a season that is changing in our lives. Respect these closures as a part of the whole. It's a part of the process. Now, I was talking about in the empowerment reading today, this amazing sand table I have back here. And if you can see, it is making a beautiful lion. But that ball, a big finger alert coming in here, that ball that's rolling around in here, going forwards and backwards, right? And back over it again, a myriad of times. I mean, my goodness, it's making this most minute detail in the lion's mane right now. And some of that requires these periods of what seem to be a regression, what seemed to be going back over something I thought I already dealt with, right? We're in retrogrades, right? We have a number of planets in retrograde, Chiron in retrograde. So it's bringing us into this sense of going back over those things so we can release and we can renew with something that is being rebirthed in our life at this time. But I just love the inspiration that this amazing kinetic sand table, a birthday gift to myself for my birthday, which is on 8/8, that has come in divine timing for me to share with you, because there's such amazing symbolism in this notion of having to go back over these nuanced details, and that when you're in that moment and that all you can see is, in this case, what is dying, what is withered, the season that's ending, it can be very difficult for us to see and respect, as they say here, that these closures are a part of the whole. But do not shy away from what is dying, because it's creating space for something magnificently new to come in. Because look at all of this that's being created when just bit by bit we can't see the full picture. So I just wanted to zoom in on that, and I hope that comes up on the video here. But be willing to face it and be present with this sacred process. Remember that death is not here to cause you agony. It is a neutral force serving the natural order of the universe. Death does not have a vendetta against you. It comes for us all. By accepting death, what transformation might you find? So this is all food for thought, right? Pause for reflection here, because what might you find if I let this go? If I let this go, what might I find on the other side? What may I be creating space for? That as I create from within and I step forward courageously, right? And these are all messages that are coming in. I'm recording this on Sunday under a new moon in Leo. With the sun in Leo, we're talking about shining, having confidence, courage, bravery, joy, tapping into the inner child, playfulness. So when I free myself of all that has died, that is withered, that I'm dragging with me, what might I have space to create? And that's an exciting prospect. So let's take a look now at this auspicious day that I've been teasing, Thursday, August 8th, the Lion's Gate, with our card coming right up. All right, Thursday is the position for us collectively regarding how we are growing. And interestingly, we got a second swords card this week, the 7 of Swords, and it's coming in here on the Lion's Gateway. So let's see what's coming in with this 7 of Swords, because, when this card comes forward, there is a sense of, something that we're not seeing that might be, there's like a trickery or a sneakiness, or something that is deceptive or not honorable that's going on. Now, I'm noticing the reflection, the shadows that are being cast here, which actually tells me some things could come to light and be revealed. Things that, again, when we had all this victory at what cost, 5 of Swords energy coming in for Monday, setting the tone, someone putting themselves out there like they are the victor, that they came upon with less than integritous means, that may come to light. That could be exposed here in this energy. But let's see what the Spacious Tarot has to bring in here with this particular depiction now of the 7 of Swords. Sneakiness and aloofness. The 7 of Swords urges you to confront what you are hiding and why you are hiding it. Sometimes it is wise to go your own way or separate from the pack. Interesting it says that, because the wolf has been our totem for 2 months now, July and August. Wolf spirit came forward just off to my side here. This is, in fact, the spirit animal that came forward 2 months in a row, and energies of the wolf coming up in the Stars and Cards episode that my soul sister Mila and I just recorded last week for this new moon of which we speak. So the Stars and Cards episode 27 is currently playing on my YouTube on the playlist for Stars and Cards if you want to check that out. But so interesting that this just mentioned separating from the pack, because this message has been coming in, and we see that here in terms of lone wolf versus running with the pack. So another nod there. Is this coming from a place of integrity? Yep, this is what I was saying. Is this coming from a place of integrity, or is it coming from a place of dishonor? Have you slipped into any dubious mental tendencies, such as procrastination and betrayal? I said when I was talking about this new moon in Leo, and I was talking about some of the astrological weather and the Virgo energy, Venus in Virgo, the sneaky peas. people-pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination. So some of those types of lower vibrational habits, patterns, and ways of being that can come about for a number of different reasons. But I feel like this is actually, like, you see the long shadow, it's like it's coming to light. It's actually being exposed, and in the best way. I'm feeling this in a very positive way, actually. So, the mind, right? Because we have these swords coming in here. We're under Mercury in retrograde. You know, the thoughts, the beliefs that are playing with us, the trickster energy. It's pulling one over. It has pulled one over on us, but not anymore. It's coming to light. Awareness, ahas are coming in. Now, this may not be like a sudden flash because we are in this retrograde energy and things are sort of slowed down. It's calling for patience. You know, we're going to talk about that with the Friday card as well. But I am starting to tap into that, which is quite an interesting perspective to come in through the Seven of Swords. It is important to be honest with yourself because this card sometimes appears when you're trying to justify doing something that you know is sketchy. Okay, so be honest with yourself, right? No judgment. You know, if you know, you know, okay? So question the ethics that you're leaning into. A little sneakiness isn't always a bad thing, but it's a fine line to skate. So once again, mirror energy, what's being reflected back to us? When that Leo sun is shining upon us, what is it casting in its shadow, right? And that energy can bring in things like narcissism or, an overt self-centeredness, like to a fault. And I'm feeling that because this is almost like that fault line, that crack. You know, there's this crack here that's showing. So it's like, my bad, right? My fault. I'm acknowledging that I did something that wasn't 100% on the up and up, or I had less integritous intentions, or maybe even inadvertently came out that way because I was in some way unclear or blinded by something within the ego, you know, a lower vibrational impulse that had me act in a way that it wasn't my intention, but I see now how that behavior came across and how maybe that was received. And again, this can be something you've done to yourself. You know, who are you hurting if you are, you know, and this has been coming up over and over again about the vibration of balance and harmony and those scales of giving and receiving. And, you know, the person who is falling on their sword, like that martyr energy or victim mentality where it's like, oh, yes, you know, I put everyone else in front of me and everyone else's needs. I'm being of service and I'm selfless. And, you know, on the outside, it sounds like there's all these great intentions, and perhaps they are. But somewhere in there, when we get down to it, right? Like if this were a frozen, like I said, I get like these wintry vibes between these two cards. Underneath, when the ice cracks, what's under that is a deep-seated insecurity, right? And so that's another shadow side of Leo. So these deep-seated insecurities coming to light. So again, like I said, this can come out in so many different ways. And if you're interested to know more, if this is resonating for you, if you would like a personal card pull over on the Sharecast, you can quick reply or reach out to me. I am offering those complimentary card pulls this week after my deeper session work. You're also always encouraged to book with me, and we do have this week a number of ways we can connect. If this is really, you know, hitting for you in a way that you would like to, I'm just sharing with you the different ways that we can connect. That yes, this may show up for you on the outside, another person, somebody else who's doing this, or this might be our ego's perception that this is happening to us, or that this is happening by somebody else who's stirring the poop, somebody else who's, you know, saying that they're the winner and it's, you know, disintegritous, or, you know, somebody else who's betraying and backstabbing and all these other energies, and also could be a mirror opportunity for us to take a look a little deeper within ourselves to see something that's coming up, that this is exactly what this is for. This is why we're doing this. It's not a dig. It's not something about, you know, calling you out as far as your character. It's about an opportunity for you to level up. So, you know, hey, Lionsgate, we're really doing it. So this is the time. This is where you want to be really discerning about what you're carrying with you when you cross over that portal. So let's go ahead and wrap up these tarot messages with the Friday card. And then we still have hanging out over here a gorgeous Time Traveler's Oracle card that I just dropped on the floor. Let me show you that real quick as a teaser. And you'll see that on the other side of the Friday card. Okay, let's take a look now at Friday. All right, finally Friday. We are tapping into our last tarot message for this week. Collectively, it was the Four of Swords, our third Swords card out of 5 this week. But it all feels right in the world on the other side of that 888 portal that we've come through on Thursday. I'm recording this on Sunday, of course, so we haven't actually crossed over as I'm recording this, but I am teleporting myself into Friday, where I imagine that the Four of Swords brings forward a call for a little rest, some meditative reflection. And I love how it's depicted here with these 4 swords just leaning up against that bench, taking a pause. Again, we've had a lot of this wintry snow and ice visual coming in here with this beautiful deck, because we did get 3 swords cards this week. So again, the mind, mental, thoughts, beliefs, ideas, things going on there. Mercury in retrograde, not surprised. But this is a card that calls to slow down, to pause, to retreat, and really tap in. So let's take a look at the Spacious Tarot's take on this Four of Swords for some insight into the messages coming forward for us to wrap up the week. Four of Swords, reprieval and contemplation. The Four of Swords offers you a pause from the noise of the world and the noise of your own mind. Yes, a vast snowy landscape forms a clean slate. Release the pressure and take a break from the stress of life. Come back to your center. Let your thoughts settle. Now, remember, back here, we had a lot of stuff going on. 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands, death energy, right? Death, new beginnings, rebirth. And here, we brought some things to light here with things that were not all on the up and up. And it was 7 of those swords. So we're talking about those mental thoughts, ideas, beliefs, stories, and the like. So now that we've moved through all of that and we're turning the page with this clean slate energy, this beautiful message comes in. The pace of life can be incredibly fast. The Four of Swords is a disengagement from the go, go, go mentality of the dominant culture. The time for action will return, but now is a time to catch up with yourself, harness your mental powers, and engage in deep contemplation before moving forward. So yeah, let yourself just integrate, right? Integrate. This was a key word that did come up in Stars and Cards last week when we tapped in, Mila and I, for the new moon in Leo. So we talked a lot about integration. That's our episode 27 that's currently playing on my the playlist on my YouTube channel if you wanted to check that out for some deeper messages into this new moon in Leo this week, and teasing up to this Lion's Gate. But yeah, some time for us to integrate, to kind of decompress, to step back and take some stock. Right? So there isn't a lot of as much as we are in Leo season and it's all about the fire and shining and being creative and playing and all of that, I think because of all of this energetic weather coming at us, and like I said, this one's definitely been pointing at more of that wintry weather, so there's a starkness, a barrenness, a coldness that we may be wanting to sort of thaw out from some. That there's an opportunity for us to really, again, bring in all of these new light codes and downloads and all these things that are coming in on the other side of this energetic gateway that we can integrate, and doing so through this place of peace and calm and retreat. So, that's kind of rounding out the tarot messages this week. We have one more card to get into, which is going to be the message from the Time Traveler's Oracle, which is really aligned with all of this potent energy this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at that final message. Okay, we have one last stop here for our collective messages this week, and it really is so beautiful. It is the Time Traveler's Oracle message of light, the angelic realm. So I've worked with this deck a bit. I've been using it this month for my empowerment pack sessions for each individual for their month ahead readings. And so each one has brought up a different time period with some really insightful oracle messages around them. So I just thought it was real fun with this whole play on our divine time and timelines and time and space and all of that. But this one is very unique because it's not a time period that we can hone in terms of a date or a chunk of time in history. It's the angelic realm. And it's funny because I already feel, I don't know, maybe a little bit like, validated in my silly example. So when I talked about this card for the new moon in Leo, and I made my shameless movie reference to Harry and the Hendersons, because I said that I was seeing sort of like a Bigfoot figure here. And I was trying to convey that, my son who loves all things like mystical and, mythical. So talking about, is Bigfoot real, and dragons and unicorns and all those kind of things, and how we talked about different dimensions and how we have trouble seeing some of these beings because they are of a higher dimension. And because we are not in that frequency, although they are absolutely among us, we don't see them. So I think we're going to tap into a similar message here with the angelic realm. Let's see what this gorgeous Time Traveler's Oracle has to say about that. Okay, so this is light, card 24. So it is bringing in that 6 energy, 2 plus 4, bringing in the 6 energy for healing, harmony, relationships, balance, and all. So of all the journeys that we have taken, this might be our most ambitious. We focus our intention with laser precision to land in the angelic realm. Voila, we've arrived. At first, we have trouble seeing the luminous forms of angels because the light around us is so radiant. As we stand in awe of our surroundings, large angels come from behind. Large angels come from behind. This is what I was talking about in the surrender energy. Come from behind to wrap us in their wings of light. So much love penetrates deep into our souls. It feels like this love travels beyond the farthest horizon of time and space. We feel deeply and profoundly cherished as we experience so much compassion for all beings. We look down at our hands and see that they too are surrounded in light. They sparkle and shimmer with an undulating golden white glow. Wave after wave of this surging incandescence radiates out from our hands and our hearts. Love bathing in this glow so much that it's hard to move on. So here comes the message from the Time Traveler. This is your time to remember who you are at your source and where you have come from, pure light. Your essence is radiant and clear. Of course, there are times when you forget this. We all do. You are a human with a physical body, but at your source, you are luminescent, infinite, and immortal. Your energy can heal the world. This is also a reminder that angels surround you always. If you are not feeling their loving luminescence, then clarity is called for. Clutter, clear. Anything that you do not love or do not use. Remove as much as you can of your physical, emotional, and mental load. Get rid of physical objects that clog your energy. Release relationships that do not support you. Move away from situations that deplete you. Make space for light to shine in every area of your life. If your life ever starts feeling dim, close your eyes and visualize wings of light embracing you. Your energy will begin to be restored. You are loved more than you can imagine. Yeah, wow, that's gorgeous. Beautiful card, and really such a a wonderful underscore and underline. I feel like these steps here to these pearly gates are like underlining this beautiful message that's been coming through. And like I said, maybe in a way that seemed a little drab. You know, when we first looked at our spread this week, we were like, oh, you know, this is that big, powerful, energetic portal we've been talking about. Yeah, this is the way it shows up in the day-to-day, in the mundane, in the everyday, in these interactions, in these spaces and places. And yeah, a lot of it takes place in our minds, takes place in our head, because it has to do with what we believe is true and what we give our power to, what we invest in. And so if you look around and see that you are very cluttered physically, but also and especially mentally, emotionally, energetically, that's what needs to go, to be cut. All these swords coming through, the death card, stripping away, peeling away those skins of the soul, picked clean to the bone, getting rid of the excess, right? Getting down to it. And that's what I'm feeling is really being underscored here by this beautiful card, because we have this opportunity to literally see the light. Because the light is always there. The light is always around us. And where we started here, I talked about for Monday, and I brought in the fact that another version of this card had come forward today in the new moon Leo reading, win or lose. You know, when we just cut away all the excess, right? Strip away all that other fluff. It gets right down to it, the heart, dropping into our heart and making our choices, and that includes how we act and we react to all that is around us, that we are doing so from a heart-centered place, as opposed to getting caught up in the mind and in this futile stirring around of lower vibrational energy. So we started here with this energy of what we are clearing away the decay and serving that useful purpose. And so that is just beautifully being underlined here by this light card, is what I'm feeling here. So once again, this is all just what we're tapping into collectively. It can show up for us all in so many varied ways. And that's why I'd love to connect with you over on the Empowerment Sharecast, where we can kind of connect more intimately from the noise of social media, but also I'm able to offer you a personal card pull if you would like to see more specifically how these energies may be presenting for you this week. So I would love for you to check it out. If you're already over on the Sharecast, thank you so much for being here. Remember, you can always share with anyone who may like to join us. It's free, it's fun. Also sharing over there some of the comprehensive ways you and I can work together this month, such as the August Empowerment Pack and the a la carte options, which currently we have this new moon in Leo that you can join me for if you are interested. And also as a bonus this month, I will be sharing the Lionsgate messages as well. So that's all happening this week. I would love to have you, but thank you all so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love and many new moon and Lionsgate messages. Talk soon.